With YouTube attacking alternative media, please consider supporting the channel via Patreon for just $1 per month. Link below.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? My name is Matt Jarbo. This is $3 Theater, and over in New York, all the way on the other side of the country, is currently the New York Comic Con, an event that I want to go to one day, and I really wish I was actually there today to check out the premiere of Titans, which they actually played. The show doesn't officially start for another 11 days, premiering on DC Universe's streaming service or Netflix internationally on until the 15th of October. But they put the first episode out at the panel, and reviews came pouring out. People were talking about it. The fan reaction was remarkably high. And this is coming off of San Diego Comic-Con, where they released the Fuck Batman trailer, which had everyone going, that. Then, of course, looking at Starfire and the amount of crap that came out of the whole Starfire situation, it was beginning to look like Titans was, in fact, a dumpster fire. But if the first Rotten Tomatoes reviews, and these are just the first reviews, are to be believed, we're looking at an 86%. Now, granted, there were 7 reviews, or there were 8 total, or 7 total reviews. 6 of them were positive, 1 of them was rotten. So this is a very small, isolated group of people that have seen it and they've reported on it. However, other people have seen the first couple episodes and those reviews have started coming out. And again, those are already rocking pretty high. And a lot of people saying the same thing. This is not your CW show. This is not what you would expect from Greg Berlanti. This is not what you would expect from DC. It's going like the Daredevil route and the Marvel Netflix route, and it's dark and it's violent, and it actually crosses the boundaries that, well, even Marvel hasn't done yet, right? By if anything, the Fuck Batman line is a clear indication of that. So let's see here what it has to say. So all we know about the story, about the plot, is that a new group of superheroes emerged from the DC universe. Yay! But again, very preliminary stuff here. Now, this is what we know. Okay, looking at the people who were there. Rosie Knight from The Nerdist gives it a 4 out of 5. This is for the premiere, saying Titans quickly establishes itself as a unique, sometimes harrowing, and surprisingly engaging prospect. It's one that doesn't fall into slow pacing and overwrought narratives of some serious comic adaptations. Now, I'm wondering if she's referring to maybe Arrow or Flash, or maybe Gotham, or even some of the Marvel stuff like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., things like that, when they went a little bit too serious as time went on. This seems to basically hit the ground running from what this kind of just says. Now, Meryl Barr from Forbes, who was also there, says it's an image of these heroes many are going to find jarring and possibly failing, but the ones that take the tone in stride are going to find themselves in the middle of a series dialed directly into their interests. Now, what that tells me is that essentially, get past the pilot episode. If you can make it past the pilot episode, you're going to be a little bit on the pilot. But once you get past the pilot, you're going to be like, yeah. That's kind of what I'm taking from that one. Now, Kevin Yeoman from Screen Rant. And I just would like to point out, this is Screen Rant. So take everything they say with a grain of salt. He's also the one naysayer here, which is why I'm just having a little bit of fun at their expense. It says Titan is so determined to stand out on the basis of its TVMA depiction of superheroes that it quickly becomes almost absurdly self-serious and self-aware. Unlike Screen Rant as a publication as a whole, and I know I'm not the only one that thinks that, but okay. I don't want to discount what Kevin has to say. I'm making a couple of jokes, but I think he's got a point there. This is not Arrow. This is not the Arrowverse on CW. Yes, it's from the same team, but it's definitely not the same group, not the same audience that they're going for. They're going for a darker, more grittier take on it, and apparently that can be hit or miss. And according to Kevin here, it's a miss simply because it becomes too serious. Again, fuck Batman. It kind of goes back to that. That was one of those facepalm moments that you're like, what? And then also self-aware, which is not something you really want in a comic book show. Now, going over here to Susanna Polo from Polygon, and Polygon hates everything, by the way, just to be on the clear side. Titans reminds me of one of my favorite comics of all time, Gail Simone's Secret Six, which was a very funny and touching series about deeply broken people desperately clinging to whatever paper-thin moral compass they have left. Now that is actually very interesting to me because I always like, and again, I think this is kind of one of the reasons why they're falling in line with what Netflix did with their series, their Marvel series, because there is that paper thin moral compass that Matt Murdock walks, that even in sometimes Luke Cage walks, and Jessica Jones. Danny Rand, on the other hand, he's like, no. But the other three definitely walk that line. And if you've seen Luke Cage season 2, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Same with Jessica Jones season 2, and even both seasons or if you saw the trailer today for Daredevil season 3, that moral compass is super paper thin. So I think that's what she's going for here. She's talking about that moral ambiguity at times, and people who are always struggling with do I go that extra step? Do I cross that line in that moral quandary? And I think that's going to be very interesting. Now, Kevin Melrose from Comic Book Resources here says Titans shows glimmers of promise, and as long as the producers can brush away some of the more irksome Snyder-esque affections and focus on the compelling mystery and the characters it entangles. Okay, well, Snyder is not a bad thing. Snyder is not a bad word, in my opinion. You could think differently, and that's entirely fine. But okay, but it's interesting that they brought up that level of DC darkness. Right, because we know that Batman v Superman was dark, Man of Steel was dark, Suicide Squad was dark, Wonder Woman was just dark in how they shot the movie. But that was also to showcase the blight that World War I caused and everything else. But you can kind of see what they're talking about here is maybe there's going to be a lot of what they call Snyderisms that have made their way into this. And Kevin here is hoping that they don't fall on their sword with them and that they focus more on the characters and the compelling mystery. And as long as they do that and they tell a good story, that's fine. Now, Greg Berlanti is known for being able to actually craft good stories through the properties that he has. The biggest problem here, in my opinion, is Arrow and the Flash and Legends of Tomorrow and Supergirl and Black Lightning and whatever else they got coming out. They run the problem of having to be 22 episode seasons or 21 episode seasons where they have to stretch the plot out and have a lot of filler in there. This is now condensed to 12 episodes or 11 or 12 episodes. So they're going to be able to really focus on the plot, cut out the filler, and that's going to be good. Now, Michelle Alexandria here from Eclipse Magazine says, "Rejoice, DC fans! You have the Batman you've always wanted to see. Only it's not Batman, it's Robin, and he's kicking so much butt. I was giggling like a schoolgirl. It gets dark, but then it looks like it's going to lighten up, and so that's good too. Where you've got Robin kicking some serious ass. She gives it an A- rating. We always want a Batman series where it is Batman just kicking ass." Not Batman as a teenager, not Batman as an old man, but Batman in his prime kicking ass. And it looks like this is going to be Robin. And that's going to be pretty good. And she says that it looks like it's going to lighten up, meaning that the dark overtones of the trailers, which do appear to be melodramatic at times, is definitely going to be something that lightens up over time. Which also seems to be what other people have kind of echoed as well. Now, finally here, Eric Joseph from We Got This Covered says, "If you've ever needed proof that a book can't be judged by its cover, there's Titan over on the DC Universe, which is actually quite good." And that's true. The trailers for Titan was terrible. It was absolutely freaking terrible. Nobody liked it. It just was like it just was so tonally separate from everything we've come to expect. So tonally over the top at parts. The Starfire thing just looks bad. And apparently that's going to be her outfit for the whole season. I saw the new trailer. That's definitely going to be more than just the first episode. And she's still rocking that same "I just went to a nightclub" look, but 4 days later. And I'm hoping that they put her in a change of clothes because they freaking need to. I'm still not entirely sold on everything about the show. I know Robin's going to be a big part of that one. So is Raven, and Beast Boy is going to be interesting too, to see how they play it off. And then which other characters make their way in. Now there's been questions about whether or not this is going to tie into the larger, greater Arrowverse, or if the DC Universe shows are going to also be part of their particular own universe, and they're going to have crossovers. And ultimately at this point, you have to do that. If you don't do that, that is just ridiculous. That is just stupid. And all you're doing at the end is ultimately hurting yourself. So I am hoping that we get to see more out of that. I am hoping that we get to see a good season. And yes, I'll be reviewing it. I've already got DC Universe already bought and set up for the next 15 months. So if you want to know what I think, even though I'm about it, these reviews do make me cautiously optimistic, which at the same time makes me then not regret my purchase. So we'll have to wait and see. But what do you guys think about this? Let me know down in the comments below. If you guys made it this far, type Titans into the chat so I know. And we'll definitely talk again soon. My name is, of course, Matt Jarbo. This has been 3 Buck Theater. I'll talk to you guys later. Have yourself a great day, and peace out.